All right, so domain and range, we're gonna write some notes here on the top. Again, we've done this before, so you should remember that the domain is the left side and the right side. The range is the bottom to the top, and then we have our little formats. The domain always gets the X, range always gets the Y. Now, one extra thing we should know is that we have this symbol is when we have an open circle, and I'll explain that in a second. And this symbol is when we have a dot or a closed circle. So we have two different reasons when to put the line under. Okay. Last thing, if we have an arrow pointing to the left, that's negative infinity. If we have an arrow pointing to the right, that's positive infinity. If you have an arrow going up, that's positive infinity. An arrow going down is negative infinity. So these are all the notes that we need for domain and range for these graphs. Okay? So go ahead and copy this down. Now, let's go ahead, let's try one of these. So the domain is the left side and the right side. So we have this arrow, but there is no arrow on the left side. So this is the left side of the graph. Right? So on my X, I'm at -2, so I'm going to put -2. Now on the right side of the graph, I have an arrow, and this arrow is going to the right. So if it's going to the right, remember I already had the answer. An arrow going to the right is positive infinity. So let's go ahead and put that. All right, this is positive infinity. And let's put our format. Now, we have to put a line under this symbol because look, this is a dot. Whenever we have a closed circle or a dot, we have to put the line under the symbol. So this one gets a line, and infinities never get a line, right? They never get a line on the infinities. And this is your answer for domain. Now the range is the bottom number. So let's go to the very bottom. The very bottom of the graph, it doesn't go any lower than this point. So this is the bottom. And remember, the range is the Y number. So I'm looking over here at the Y line. So the bottom of the graph is at +1. So let's go ahead and put a 1 here. And then this arrow is pointing up, right? I'm talking about the top part. The top part of my graph has an arrow. So when I have an arrow pointing up, the answer is positive infinity. Let's go ahead and put another positive infinity. Go ahead and put your format. Now in this format, this number, all right, remember, look, this is a dot, right? When you have a dot or this line is a regular line, you have to go ahead and put the line under the symbol. That means that it touches. So this graph touches the number 1, it goes up, it touches the number 1 again, and then it goes up forever. And that's why we have the infinity. All right. So let's try another one. So let's say we have something like number 3. So the domain, remember, the left side. Do we have a left arrow? All right, let me look for it. On the left side, look, this arrow is going up, but it is gonna go to the left. So it is going to the left forever, slowly. So that means we have an answer. The left arrow is negative infinity. Now the right side of the graph over here, this has a circle, so it stops. This is the right side of the graph. All right, let's go and draw this. Now on the X, remember domain is X. So on my X number line, where am I at? On the right side. This is my right side. This is +4, looks like. So that is right here, 4. Go ahead and put your format, less than, X less than. Now, do not put a line under here, right? Now remember, infinities never get a line, but this 4, this is an open circle, so you don't put a line under it. It doesn't touch. Okay, it gets really close, but it doesn't touch the 4. Now for the range, where's the bottom of the graph? The bottom of my graph, well, this is the bottom right here, so that's the bottom. All right. Now I'm looking at the, let's go ahead and do the top. So the top of the graph, is there an arrow pointing up? Yes, there's an arrow pointing up. Right here, this is going up. So my answer is positive infinity. So this y number is what? That's negative 16 is the bottom, and the top is positive infinity. Go and put your format. Now, does the 16, if it has a circle, does it get a line under it? Let's check. It has a circle, it does not get a line under it. Infinities never get a line, so this is your answer. Okay. Let's try one more. So on this one, now for the domain, remember domain is left and right, but this is a line going straight up and down. So no matter what, there is no left side and right side. You're always going to be where? This line is always in the same place for the x. So this is going to be, the domain is 6. Okay. Now there should be a little space for range. It got cut off. So my range is from the bottom to the top. So is there a down arrow for the bottom? This arrow is going down. So my answer for a down arrow is negative infinity. All right, so let's put negative infinity, less than y less than. And then the highest it gets, the top of the graph is this point right here. This is the top. And on my y, I'm on the 15. So this is going to get a 15. Now, if this is an open circle, you see that right there? It's a circle. Do I put a line under the 15? No, you leave it like that. If it's a circle, you put the line. Do not put the line. So that's your answer. All right, this is a little bit confusing. All right, let's do the domain and range on this one. So, is there a left arrow? No, there's no left arrow, but there's a dot here. This is my left side for the domain. All right, where am I at? Negative 40 is left. And on the right side, is there an arrow going to the right? A right arrow is positive infinity. So this arrow is going to the right, so positive infinity. Put your format. All right, if I have a dot, do I put a line under this one? Let's check. A dot, yes, you need a line under it. Now for the range, do I have a down arrow? For the bottom, is there an arrow pointing down? So remember, the answer is negative infinity. So this arrow right here, it is pointing down, so I have a negative infinity. Put your format. And then the top, the highest it gets is this number. So that's the top of it. And on my y, that's at negative 2. Be very careful, that's not positive 2, that's negative 2. Now, this is a regular solid line. So a regular line is the same thing as a dot. So I do need to put a line under this one. All right, this one does get a line under it. It's less than or equal to. Okay. So go ahead and try the rest. All right, let's go ahead and finish up the rest. Remember, this one does have a range. Number 7 does have a range on it. All right, so is there a left arrow? No. Is there a right arrow? Yes. Is there a bottom arrow? No. Is there a arrow going up? Yes. All right, so try number 7. All right, go ahead and finish the rest. Let us know what you need.